Okay, boys, so the trade deadline is over, and it feels like the quietest one that we've had in a while. I'm not going to fact check that one, but yeah, there was no splash trade, there was no blockbuster. I mean, if you're a Knicks fan, you're feeling very happy. We'll get into that. I might end up doing a second video diving more into the teams that did not do anything, and just at the buzzer here, Corey Joseph going to the Pacers, so okay. We are still going to talk about a lot of moves, though. Do we go right to the Knicks or the Mavs, or do we talk about Dejounte not moving first? Let's talk Dejounte. Were teams just scared? Like, are teams just spooked by Dejounte because of the fact that it just hasn't gone well in Atlanta the past couple of years? I mean, we all saw what he was defensively in San Antonio. It didn't hit the same in Atlanta. Not that it's only his fault that Atlanta's defense has not been very good. Depending on the night you catch him, sometimes he'll just make every single pull-up two he attempts. Have the Lakers just become enamored with D'Angelo Russell once again? I mean, hey, listen, I was watching their Hornets game recently, and you had like LeBron screening for D'Lo on like an empty side. You had some D'Lo, Anthony Davis pick and rolls that looked good. D'Lo was putting on like a Chris Paul impression, at least with his passing in the Celtics game. He's like making kickouts to Christian Wood on the pop, or he's hitting Jackson Hayes with lobs and stuff. And it was, well, the Hawks would want Austin Reeves, and Lakers want to move D'Lo, that whole spiel. Neither one of them is like the perfect guy next to Trae Young, if we're being honest. Like, if you're thinking of like the ideal guy next to Trae being like an amazing on-ball defender and stuff, but like, whatever. Apparently, the Dejounte market clearly wasn't that strong because no move happened, of course. And then we had a little bit of Pelicans stuff earlier, then Chris Haynes kind of shot that down almost as quickly as it popped up, I feel like. To me, man, it just seemed like the teams that were interested in Dejounte didn't want to give up all the stuff for Dejounte, similar to what Atlanta did with all the picks they gave up for him right when they got him. And so then at that point it becomes, well, is Atlanta really benefiting from this? I mean, I guess if you just believe, well, we have to get off of Dejounte no matter what. But clearly Atlanta does not believe that. And now for the Hawks, perhaps we revisit something in the offseason. I mean, DeAndre Hunter's still here. Capella's still here. Everybody's still here. The Hawks didn't do a single thing. Let's get to the stuff that did happen. We're going to go right to the Knicks. They got Bojan Bogdanovic and they got Alec Burks. The Knicks, OG is currently out. Randall's out. Brunson just hurt his ankle in their last game. So they'll have some stuff to deal with over the next couple of weeks. But with all that said, we can all see it. This team healthy is a really good team. We all know Mitchell Robinson's been out for a minute. Hartenstein has stepped in well. DiVincenzo is shooting like 15 threes a game in his last 5 games. That's not an exaggeration. As Brunson has been cooking, and now we've got Bojan, who is an awesome shooter, but also a good pull-up two-point shooter. He is able to put the ball on the floor and like drive, close out and all that. But of course, floor spacing, putting him at the 3 or the 4. The Knicks added versatility with him, and also he's under contract for 1 more year. So if you want to envision like another trade chip down the road that's more attractive for other teams than Evan Fournier, then like he fits into that as well. But he's definitely going to help them right now. I am going to assume that when the team is healthy, DiVincenzo still is your starting 2, and then obviously it's Brunson, OG, Randall, Hartenstein for now, and then if Mitch comes back, you can have that conversation, which means you're going to see a whole lot of minutes for Josh Hart and Bogdanovic off the bench. Unless I'm just totally wrong and Tibbs is going to pull DiVincenzo from the starting 5, but I just don't think he's going to do that. But they got to get healthy for that first. In the short term, I mean, look, Precious Achiuwa has had 4 straight games of over 40 minutes, so you know what? Tibbs, go crazy. As far as Alec Burks, you know, I think he dropped like 30 a week ago, so Alec Burks can have those types of games for you. And obviously the dude can shoot, so that's nice for you. Now, for the Pistons, I did see them get roasted a little bit. I mean, the full trade, they got Quentin Grimes, 2 second-rounders, which I'm not sure we've seen the specifics on yet. I know Nikias on Twitter asked about it, and nobody had the answer, and that was a little after, so I don't know. And then it was Fournier's contract, Malachi Flynn. Okay, look, it would have been cool to look at Pistons get first for Bojan Bogdanovic, okay? I think Quentin Grimes is like kind of sort of effectively a first-round pick. And assuming that we can trust Monty Williams to not do anything too weird with the rotations, which, like, be my guess with that one. Killian Hayes got released. Shout out to Killian. Then I would like to see Quentin Grimes getting real minutes on the Pistons pretty much right away. 2 years ago, or last year, my bad math, I thought Quentin Grimes was just quietly one of the best 3-and-D guys in the NBA. He averaged like 10 points a game. All the advanced numbers were like, yeah, dude, on-ball defense, love Quentin Grimes. This year it slipped. I think he had some moments after the OG trade where he looked pretty good. I believe in Quentin Grimes to be a 3-and-D guy who has shown some life at being pretty damn good at like attacking closeouts and all that, because he gets these random bursts of speed because he's good at anticipating or like kind of moving before he catches the ball. Before he goes into a closeout, I don't know if he'll ever average more than 15 points a game in his career, but I think it's a nice pickup for the Pistons, okay? If we would like to have larger conversations about what the hell's going on at Detroit, be my guest. Jalen Duren's really good. Cade missed a little bit of time there, played 2 in a row, and then he missed their last one. Jaden Ivey's getting real minutes. Asar didn't make the rookie something, and everybody's like, yeah, because of you, Monty, after Monty said, why didn't he make it? Okay, Oh, and also, if the Celtics run into the Knicks in round 2, I'm not going to have a fun time. I want no part of that team right now. But again, they got to get healthy for a little bit. Okay, do we go to Dallas next, who picked up Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington? The Hornets got Grant Williams, Seth Curry, a top 2 protected first in 2027, and okay, give you some boring draft pick stuff real quick. Basically, assuming that the Mavs give the Knicks the pick this year, then the 2025 pick opens up, so then they can trade that one, which I think because of that, they're like a little more willing to move a pick in 2027, because otherwise they would be like kind of a little more messed up with trading protected stuff, Stepien rule. You know what I'm saying? Okay. PJ Washington should give Dallas more screen setting, more rolls to the rim, more attacking off of the catch. He's got some small ball 5 potential. The big thing is his 3-point shooting. He's been kind of blah on his 3 balls the past couple years, but Luka and Kyrie should generate open looks for him. And PJ, he is kind of a floater god. He screens for somebody and then he's like just open in the middle of the floor, right? So, okay, you got him who can do that, and that's a big thing. And I think Dallas, whatever they can do to get more shots at the rim when Kyrie and Luka have 2 to the ball on them or whatever, like that's big stuff, because of course they're like second in the league in 3-point attempts and they're towards the bottom of the league in shots at the rim per game. As far as the Hornets, I think getting a top 2 protected 2027 first-round pick for PJ Washington is good work. If you are the Hornets, we will see in time what that pick ends up being for them. As far as Grant Williams, hey, it didn't work out in Dallas, man. I thought it was going to. You take the L sometimes. And now we go to Daniel Gafford, who is a lob threat for Dallas, no doubt about it. And we've seen how huge Derek Lively has been for them with his, lob threat, making plays in the middle of the floor when they put 2 to the ball, rim protection. It's insane how impactful he's been as a rookie for them. That being said, he's missed the last 4 games. He had a stretch recently where he was out, and also they've had some shaky center minutes when he's not in the game, right? Well, now you have solidified that you are, when Lively's healthy, able to have a full game of reliable center minutes of 2 guys who have a similar play style, which is the type of 5 that you want with Kyrie and Luka. That's pretty good stuff, if you ask me, with Dallas. And as I say all that, Dwight Powell's probably still going to play 7 minutes a game, because it is destiny for Dwight Powell to get minutes as the center on the Mavericks. As far as what the Wizards got, they got Rashawn Holmes, who was under contract for a little bit. It's not a lot of money, but it's something. And then as far as the pick that they got, I believe it is the Thunder's second least favorable first-round pick of 2024. Okay, now let's go to Buddy Hield with the Sixers. This was the one thing Philly did. Actually, that's not true. They also traded Patrick Beverley to the Bucks, gave them a perimeter defender. We can talk about that a little bit in a second. They also, Daniel House is gone, and now he's going somewhere. We'll just say that. Okay, the big thing with Buddy Hield, well, first off, the move was Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, which, hey, shout out to Korkmaz. He got traded. It was 3 years after his request, but here we go. 3 second-rounders to the Pacers. I believe one of those is in 2024, and the other ones are when I'm 37 years old. Yes, you just heard my phone go off. What is it, 29 Blazers, 29 Clippers? All right, cool. The big thing with Buddy Hield, obviously great shooter, we all know that, is the fact that he's so good at getting open, right? He's one of the best in the league at finding a way to get open in transition, whether it's trailing the play or getting out ahead of the defense early, whatever. He is great at coming off of down screens, pin downs, flare screens, whatever term you want to use here. Nick Nurse, I'm sure, will draw that stuff up for him if we can see Embiid healthy and he can get shots generated for him off of Embiid existing or the Maxey Embiid 2-man game. That's fantastic. Maxey can bend the defense now and kick it to Hield. But the other thing with Buddy is he's very good at, let's say there's a possession that's kind of going nowhere. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock. He'll tell the big to come up, and then he'll throw it to the big, and then he will immediately run and get the DHO, and then if he's got room, he's going to rise up from there. He's really good at improvisational, just create a 3 for himself stuff. The ghost screens with Halliburton, he should be able to translate that to Philly right away with Maxey, and it should be a good fit. Now let's go to Gordon Hayward to the Thunder. So Gordon Hayward has been out with a calf injury since basically Christmas, and that's been the big thing with him. He's just been really unlucky with injuries the past few years. We got Trey Mann as well as Bertans going out in that move, and there might have been some second rounders moving. Vasily Misic is moving as well. Look, man, does Gordon Hayward solve the issue that all of us have been screaming about with OKC, which is their defensive rebounding? I mean, he'll grab a couple rebounds for you, but I do not imagine that he is going to transform the Thunder's defensive rebound percentage. That being said, the Thunder are a great team, of course, and part of that defensive rebound stuff is the fact that the floor's spaced out, there's athletes everywhere, the whole thing. And Hayward, again, if he's healthy, well, that's always the big thing with him. He can definitely step in and be another reliable rotation piece. I mean, he can shoot, and there's definitely between Chet, J-Dub, and SGA being the big one, of course. He's going to get open looks created for him that way. He can attack off a catch. He can make plays whether he's like attacking a closeout or even sometimes running some pick and roll for you as well. Like, I mean, the box score already says that Hayward's a good passer, like 4.5 assists a game in the 25 games he played this year. He's been hovering at about 4 assists on like 1.5 to 2 turnovers per minute now. Even that, I think, underrates him as a passer on the wing. Like, he's a really good connective passer. Like, the amount of assists or the amount of passes he will make that lead to something good in a possession, but he's not the one getting the assist, whether it be just like a swing to, let's say it's J-Dub in the corner, who then is going to attack and then make the next play to somebody, or, SGA will kick it to him, he'll drive, and then it'll be a kick out to Chet, who can then like make the next play. A lot of that stuff. Hayward's going to do all that for OKC. That's good. And defensively, he's fine, which is all you need. We will see what Trey Mann does in Charlotte. I'm thinking about the Celtics, so we'll do this one now. This one was not today, but it was yesterday. It still counts. Tillman to the Celtics. Grizzlies get the Hawks 27 second and the 2030 Mavs second. I feel like Xavier Tillman and Al Horford are going to be best friends because Horford's 37 and Tillman's like the oldest 25-year-old of all time. Not as far as his game, but just everything you hear about the dude is just, veteran, great guy, leader, and all that stuff, Good thing to have. Offensively, he's not going to do a whole lot. Defensively, he's very, very good. He obviously gives them insurance for, Porzingis and Horford. It's all good. And the thing with him is he's versatile defensively. He can end up switched onto a wing, and he'll hold up fine there. He can guard in the post. He can guard, just playing drop on pick and rolls. So, Tillman's good. As far as the Grizzlies just gutting their center rotation, I mean, the Steven Adams thing, he's going to be good for Houston, especially with, they're just going to hope he's going to be the backup for Şengün when he comes back next year. Adams, obviously Şengün is healthy. But for the Grizzlies, I guess sometimes reality just hits you fast, man, when you fall in love with a player, which I imagine Grizzlies fans definitely did with Steven Adams. Okay, what else happened? Spencer Dinwiddie is currently on the buyout market. He's probably going to get signed by a good team. And, I mean, the Schroeder-Dinwiddie thing, like, Schroeder should be better than Dinwiddie was for the Nets simply because the vibes will probably be better. While Royce O'Neal is not the exact, like, big athletic forward that I'm sure the Suns were envisioning they would acquire, but he's going to make threes and he's just going to be reliable across the board and he's going to play a whole hell of a lot of minutes. So you know what? It's a solid pickup. Monte Morris to the Wolves. I already tweeted this one. Get ready for the Monte Morris Naz Reid two-man game, buddy, because it's coming and it's going to be beautiful for the however many amount of minutes it's going to happen each game. It also gives us some Conley insurance, so that's good. We also had this Raptors trade that was kind of something to look at. So it's Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji to the Raptors. We got Kyra Lewis, Otto Porter, a 2024 first, which is going to be either the Clippers or the Thunder's pick, going to the Jazz. If there was something else attached to that trade, I didn't see it, my bad. The Raptors, they're hoping that they get their pick this year. It's top 6 protected. We'll see. They're losing a lot of games right now. Shout out to them. They have the Pistons second rounder, which is probably the 31st pick in the draft. So therefore, they still have a pick around the range of which the one they just traded would have been. And at the same time, it is still kind of wild to read, yeah, we traded a first-round pick for Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji, but there's context around that pick and all that stuff. Look, when I did my deep dive on Agbaji in his rookie season, my takeaway was I like his energy defensively, and the three ball was kind of hit or miss game to game. Okay, cool. See 1 more minutes on the Raptors. All right, nice. As for Olynyk, he's a good passer. He's a good ball handler. Like, he'll bring it up court himself off of a rebound. He can attack a closeout. He can make a whole hell of a lot of plays for you at the top of the key, and you can get cutters going for him and all that. And while his three-point rate, and honestly, all of his shooting rates are down this year as far as the amount that he's taking, if he's open, he'll hopefully take the three because he's been a good three-point shooter throughout his career. So, like, Olynyk is cool. It's just for the Raptors, it's a little bit of like, I would not have expected this sort of a trade. Maybe I should have, Okay, Pat Bev to the Bucks for, what was it? Campaign in a second. So we got the Bucks and the Sixers helping each other out a little bit, I guess. Hey, look, man, the Bucks need a perimeter defender. They got one in Patrick Beverley. He's definitely going to care on that side of the floor. And it just gives the Bucks another option, right? Like, I imagine Malik Beasley is still going to be the starting guard next to Dame. But imagine, especially like in a playoff matchup, maybe by game 2 or 3, Doc is like, you know what? Pat Bev's just got to start over Malik Beasley. We'll take the hit to the shooting, which we also got Fontecchio to the Pistons. And, okay, I mean, Fontecchio as well as Quentin Grimes. Cool. Good 2 rotation players who can make shots. Why not? I will say that Danny Ainge has not, like, taken the air out of the good energy of the Jazz, but he poked, like, a little hole in it at this deadline. Because Olynyk, he definitely mattered for them, and Fontecchio still getting minutes for him. The Jazz will be fine. Is that it? Let's see. McDermott going to the Pacers. Cool. I mean, they already got a shooter back for Buddy, so there you go. Spurs got a second. We love that for him. again, I might end up doing a video about teams that didn't do anything, but, the Bulls also did not do anything. They didn't even trade, like, Drummond, and there was a report at the end there saying Caruso was untouchable and all that, and